One Piece chapter 1171 is out, and we already talked about it. But let's talk about it some more. Elbaf is off the D. Something Imus said in the last chapter. And I think in my review of the chapter I kinda glanced over it or didn't mention it at all, at least this one specific line. I did talk about Emo and what he said about Harold and his powers and everything else, but not that Elbaf is off the D, I think. Yeah, it's simultaneously like a big revelation. Words are hard sometimes, but also not. Like, we could basically figure that Elbaf was part of the D clan, that Elbaf was on the or at least Elbaf was at least on the side of the D clan back in the day. How so? Well, we have the ancient mural on Elbaf, which I haven't talked about on this channel at all yet so far, which is crazy for a channel dedicated to One Piece. There's the ancient mural there, which is basically a poneglyph, or even worse than a poneglyph, if you would ask Emo. We have some ancient ruins dating back like 3,000 years, according to Vegapunk. We have the Owl Library with all the history saved from an island that got Buster called from O'Hara. Oh yeah, a lot of this is not really aligned with the government, man. This is not really aligning well with the government at all, is it? So Elbaf being off the D, oh yeah. If you told me so, I would have been like, yeah, that checks out. Makes sense to me. And either way, Emo just clearly stating it in this way, Elbaf is off the D, I think was the translation, is just straight up confirmation, I guess, in this sense. Like, not just, oh yeah, Elbaf, there were some giants that fought alongside the D clan. No, Elbaf belongs to the D. It is of the D. It's like the D clan, whoever they are, whoever they were, whatever the D means. Yeah, don't know about that yet completely. Does it mean down? Is it just a smile like a D? A big smiley? What does it mean? What does the D mean? But Elbaf, no, it's not just allied with the D. No, it is of the D. So, okay, that's interesting. And I completely glanced over it, so thought to mention it here. In the same paragraph, in the same few pages of Emo, another thing to talk about. Yeah, we had the revelation of him losing a God's Knight, someone with a deep sea contract that got power from Emo. It's not only they have to pay something, like the free will basically to Emo in order to get this power. Like, they can now completely be controlled by Emo, they cannot resist an order by Emo. That's basically the price they pay. But yeah, if someone like on that level dies in a certain way, there's also a price to be paid by Emo. So giving that power to them costs Emo something, and if they die, that basically evaporates into nothing. So Emo loses power? Maybe? Like, does Emo lose power then constantly, like forever? Like we saw with Saint Saturn, when Saint Saturn died. That was not a death like Harold's death. No, that was very different. That was Emu taking back his power from Saint Saturn. And Saint Saturn was already alive for, I don't know what, a few hundred years? We don't know exactly how long. But he looked exactly the same in God Valley, and that was 40 years ago. He was an old man then, and he's still an old man now. So he was being kept alive somehow by Emu and this power. I would assume so. So the moment Emu took back this power, he basically shriveled up and just a skeleton remained. So I would assume so that Emu's power kept Saint Saturn alive for all these centuries and years. But the moment Emu took the power away, yeah, that's no longer the case, and so he shriveled away. Like in that Indiana Jones movie when the one guy touches the grail. Kinda like that, yeah. Okay, but in that case, Emu didn't lose anything. Like this chapter, he said, like, yeah, the contract, it's not only a price paid by the people that have the contract, but also by me, by myself. That's how Emu refers to himself. Okay, so with Saturn, he took away the power, and we can assume then he gave power from Saturn to Garling, Saint Figurland Garling, who's the next Gorosei after Saint Saturn, who has now the role previously held by Saturn. Okay, so that power remained in Emu's grasp, in Emu's domain. But when Harold died, because he got killed by Loki, the power given to Harold might have been just straight up lost by Emu. It's like, is it possible for Emu to like regain that power over like time span of, let's say, 12 years? Who knows? Maybe. Maybe there's only that many God's Knights because Emu can't make any more God's Knights. Like people were asking why isn't Emu like Domi reversing like everyone, like literally get the entire planet under your control. Yeah? Maybe there's a limit to how many people Emu can Domi reverse and how many people Emu can make contracts with. Like the Shallow Sea contract only grants Emu power over people as long as they're like in Marisho, as long as they're close to him. But with the Deep Sea contract, he had control over them, over the entire world, because he can always talk to them no matter where they are telepathically. Okay. But then, if that wouldn't it be better for him? Like also have like undying soldiers, if he could have as many as possible. And there was a number mentioned. The number was 13 in a chapter previously. That 13 people are in the circle that know of basically the god, the great one of Emu. Okay, so we have a precise number mentioned there. 13 people were it that knew of. And after that, later on, Harold got initiated into those 13 people. So does it then mean that from then on it was 14 people? Or did someone like get his power sucked out of him, similar to Saint Saturn? Like did someone get removed from their spot? Either because they failed Emu got mad at them and they were like, yeah, you're gone. I'm gonna take my power back and kill you. Or is it another case where someone died and the power was lost? Like there's some strong people out there, so also a possibility. Like at that time Roger was out there sailing the seas still. Was it? No. Actually Roger was already dead at that point. No, never mind. Okay, Roger wasn't out there. My bad. Word that. But I guess Kaido was out there. Might be it. Still possible that someone died, but more likely that Emu took away the power from someone and was like, yeah, let's give it to Shanks. I want Shanks really badly to become like a high level person because the power given to Herald was initially supposed to be given to Shanks. And I can see Emo being like, okay, this Shanks guy is strong, man. He has potential. And I have like this other guy over here. He's alright, but he ain't a Shanks. So I'm gonna take his powers away, have him killed, and give those to Shanks. And then Shanks disappears. And it's like, I already have an open spot here now. What do we do with that? Okay, give it to Harold. He's the next in line. Harold is an ancient giant ruler of Elbaf, and we're gonna get control over all of Elbaf with that. Doesn't turn out well. Like Harold remains in control for long enough for him to tell Loki and everyone like to kill him and to stop him. And after that, Loki does that. Loki eats the fruit. Gets really damn powerful, crazy powerful, and kills his father. And Emu's like, we to the five elders like, no, we don't send anyone else there because I don't know what's up in Elbaf. I don't know what happened there in Elbaf. I stopped looking for a moment, and then Harold is dead. Like, that was an ancient giant with Conqueror's Haki. And my power on top of that. And he still died. I ain't sending anyone over there because I don't want to lose any more of my soldiers. Because that physically hurts Emu. Like, he was out of breath there. And that's another question with like the regeneration of the God's Knights. Like, in anime often, like, you can, like, for example, in Jujutsu Kaisen, you can use reverse curse technique if you're, like, very talented. Very little people can use reverse curse technique that aren't curses themselves. And you basically use some of your energy to heal wounds, even, like, deadly wounds, if you're fast and quick enough and good enough. So basically, you can use stamina to heal wounds. So, is the regeneration of the God's Knights maybe not only like endless to a certain point, but is that bound to stamina, like their own stamina, or maybe even is it drawing power from Emu with the contract? Is it bound to Emu's stamina? And that Loki was so powerful, his Devil Fruit and his attack was so powerful, Emu couldn't regenerate that anymore, and that's why he's out of breath. In the scene, huffing and puffing. And that's why Harold died. I don't think so really, but possible. Like, I rather think that it is technically infinite regeneration to a point. Although no, actually, I think it has to be bound to some sort of stamina. Like, there has to be an upper limit of like cutting your head off so this many times you won't regenerate anymore. Maybe even like cutting your head off is like an instant kill. Like the right amount of damage or the right type of damage could be it. Like, we saw Loki having frost powers in this chapter. Maybe him just like wounding Harold and freezing him at the same time doesn't allow him to regenerate anymore. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's why it worked. Who knows? Good questions. Many questions, no answers yet so far really, but serious. And I was listening to some One Piece videos and discussions and talk, and people mentioned that we're talking about Shamrock stating to Loki that even if he wasn't in shackles, the outcome of their fight would be no difference. I'm calling bullshit on that. Loki wipes the floor with Shamrock any other day. And in that discussion where I was listening to was like people like, yeah, but if it's true that Shanks beat Loki in a one-on-one, then maybe Shamrock can also beat Loki. Yeah, Shanks didn't beat Loki. that never happened. That's part of the lie that was told about Loki with killing his father and what happened here in the castle. Shanks beating Loki is part of that same lie. Like, Loki went out with the remaining guards to sea for a while and eventually came back to Elbaf and was basically beaten by Shanks. According to what it was told, he was beaten by Shanks and chained to the tree. We all know Loki is not actually a madman, and Shanks has no reason to fight Loki because Shanks knows actually about what really happened at the castle. So I don't think Shanks and Loki ever actually fought for real. Like, even if they were like in a room together and like pretend fighting, I don't think they fought for real. Like if Loki goes all out after what we saw in last chapter, I'm not sure Shanks gets out of that alive. That's how strong Loki is. That's how powerful Loki is with this devil fruit. Just at this point in the past already. Forget him going out to sea, training, getting stronger, training with his devil fruit, getting more adept with his devil fruit, getting more adept with his new hammer. He just got this weapon in this chapter. Forget him getting better with it. No, just at this point. At this point in time, Shanks couldn't even hurt Harold at all. He couldn't do shit to him. Loki one-tapped that guy. That's the power difference at that point in time. And I would assume so that Loki got stronger after that. So, actually, yeah, Shanks got a lot stronger after that as well. Like, he's a Yonko. He's one of the strongest people in One Piece. No disrespect to Shanks, but so is Loki. So, for the Shanks fan that I am, I must say, I'm not sure Shanks stands a chance against Loki at the moment. That can change. We haven't seen a lot of Shanks, we haven't seen a lot of Loki yet. That can change. But yeah, right now I'm not convinced they even fought at all, ever. Because Shanks has no reason to fight Loki. My theory in general is like Loki came back and was like, yeah, just we put on a show and let you put me in chains, basically. Yeah. Alright. So those were some thoughts about the chapter. I have more. But I'm gonna have to do some research and think about it a lot. Alright. But anyway, thanks for watching. Prost. Have a good one.